Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom. I am a hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, published author with a visionary, a CD called Visionary Vocabulary, and some downloads. One's called Spirit, Body, Mind. The other one's called Expand Your Life. And I got some meditation, sunrise meditation. But tonight I want to talk about the power of no. And the power of no is a standalone response. And it's probably the word that's led to more successes than any word in history. And I finally understand in this that when you say no, never give a response, never ask the why question or anything, just it's no. It's a standalone, and what it really means is new opportunity or natural optimism. And that is something I'm expanding into now. But how do you feel, and people try to make you feel guilty when you say no? And how do they say why? How come you won't give me an answer? Well, there is no answer for no. No is a one response. But how is the world so afraid to say no to everything today? And how did we try to get our parents off of no, and that transponded into people getting us off of no? And that is something I'm really trying to listen to and understand, that life begins when you say no. And it's also not won't, can't, anything. It's a straight up no. The world is afraid to say yes and no and answer things in yes and no questions, yes and no answers. We try to beat around the bush, and we try to finagle the answer, and we're trying to say something and not hurt people's feelings. And then we cover up some of the answers and some of the stuff that makes us feel good about ourselves. So as I open out to understand the power of no, and that's a nervy oomph to walk my own path rather than trying to fit into the world and somebody else's path. And that's what happens in this. So as I open up and let go, I'm also understanding and that I'm afraid when I say no, I'm afraid I hurt the other person's feelings. But then I end up doing something I didn't want to do, and I go do something or end up in a place I didn't want to be. Has that ever happened to you? And that's the power of no. It's a natural optimism. Because no just means that's not for me. And there's another path for me. And I use the word not, and that's not bad. But no is nowhere I desire to be or to go or what I desire to do. Life is about people living their dreams and desires and accomplished outcomes rather than becoming somebody else's accomplishments and outcomes. How many times have you said no and they talked you into doing it and you felt regret? That's happened to me so many times I can't even remember them all. But I don't need to remember. From today forward, the answer is no. And when they say why, it's no. How come you won't do this? No. It's never any more than no. It's the shortest, most quickest, standalone answer. See, when you say yes, they never ask you anything else. But when you say no, they really begin to pester you to get you to go their way. And I really feel that is the difference between some of the successful people and me. That isn't quite as successful as I want to be. It's about me saying no, and I didn't say no when I shouldn't have, and I stepped back and I said yes when I shouldn't have. And that is where the yes and no becomes. But the power of no is a natural opening for the new to enter my life or enter your life. That is where it all goes for me. And when I say no, it's just a freedom to maneuver a different way and allow the dexterity of my abilities and my desires to go another path. You're not saying you don't like them. You're not saying anything. You're just saying that's not for me. And so it's a new new opening to walk a different way. But it's also a nervy omnipotence and opens up your unconquerable spirit to see the prosperity internally, realizing the innovative talent within yourself. No is actually standing up for yourself, and it empowers you to see the power within yourself. I didn't realize all this until about the last couple days, and I stood up and I opened my eyes to the power of no. And Thursday night is going to be about how we allow the subconscious filters run our life, and we don't even admit it. And we're afraid to appreciate ourselves. See, when you say no, you begin to see the appreciation, the value of your vibrant energy to expand the nirvana, enterprising the rich, genuine Yazzajazz in yourself. It's really, no is a yes dance. And yes is a blessing. But no is a yes dance. It's yesing to yourself, and it's feeling the blessed power within yourself. So when you say no and people start pestering you, what ends up happening? For me anyway, it always is, oh, I'll do that. And then you kind of say, oh God, why did I do this? And then it's, oh my God. And that happens to everybody. So personal expansionism, no is as powerful as a yes. And you ask a lot of business people, super wealthy people, the word no is as powerful as anything, because no probably kept them out of a lot of situations, and no keeps me out of situations. So how will no keep you out of the situations you never want to be in? But how do you feel guilty when you say no, and they start playing on them guilty feelings because you open up to something else? And that is something I've had to deal with, and I'm still dealing. And something else I'm going to share with all the personal growth. Every day is a new walk of wisdom for me, because I can think I'm here and I can think I'm here, but until I feel I'm there, it never goes. And every day is a new advancement. It's an onward omnipotence to walk forward rather than looking back at what I should have, would have, could have done. And that's what the word, when they say no and you get off of it, that's woulda, shoulda, coulda. And it usually means you're doing something that you never wanted or desired to do. And that was for me anyway. So when you're walking in and somebody asks you and you say no and they get very belligerent with you, the answer is still no. Because they're just mad and selfish, and that's it. I'm really starting to understand for myself, selfishness creates my anger. And I'm going to talk more about that Thursday night, because it's the subconscious swamp that I have to clean out to make it my beaches of bountiful bliss. And that's what I'm going to talk about Thursday night. And no is cleaning out the swamps, because people are people pleasers, and I was a people pleaser, and I'd do things to make people like me, and then when it didn't happen, I'd get mad and frustrated and hide my emotions and feelings until now, until about 10 years ago. But now it's easier to express myself, and if they don't like me, that's fine. It's like my writings and stuff like that. I'm not here to agree with anybody. I'm not here to be anything. I'm here, I show people the way I have expanded my life. And if that's opens you and expands your life, I'm grateful. Because I do have my accomplished outcome is to allow people to see a freedom from the system that's got us fenced in and trying to fit into a political and societal structure that is taught to us to control us. And as I understand this and I look forward, the world has always expanded under the rebellious, with the rebellious and the revolutionists that have a desired outcome to make people's life and to break away from tyranny. That's kind of why the rebellious, revolt, revolutionist, and all them words, that's why they have a negative meaning, because the powers to be want us to be kind of domain and docile and colored by numbers and play us inside their lines. But the divine is a daring, internal, visionary, intrepid nerve expanding me through life. And when you start expanding through life and you let go of the thinking and the way we was taught to think by the school system and the system, societal system, and quit trying to fit in to be friends with people that never want to go get off the couch. And they're good people, but if you want to live a dream or live a life of sovereign inner sovereignty, then people will hold you back, and they're the naysayers of your life trying to steal your sovereign dreams. That's all a dream is sovereignty. It's your sovereignty. It's your special internal. That's your talent. That's your trend-setting talent within you. But that's your subconscious and unconscious talking to you when the conscious mind is resting. That's why they come to us in the dream and in the night when our conscious mind is relaxed. That's why meditation is taking the conscious mind and the gatekeeper and letting them have a good rest. So how will the power of no naturally open the new opportunities within you to see, for you to witness in your daily life? See, we dream it in the mind's eye, in the third eye, but it's to be expanded, expressed, and lived on the physical plane. So how are we afraid? For me, how was I afraid to take the dream to the physical world? Because once you take the dream to the physical world, you've entered into the ridiculers and all the couch potatoes of life, because they're afraid to go there. And how is the world afraid today? The people of the world today afraid to really dream beyond the school system and what somebody tells them to do. Because something I've realized, people like to tell you what to do and people like to be told what to do on both ways. And a dream is a natural, enterprising energy to move you beyond and on, beyond the thinking mind and on to your fields of felicity, to enjoy the electricity within yourself, to turn on your brain power and your brain prowess, to dance on your own dance floor, your dreamer's dance floor, with your animated ardor and your adventurous audacity to experience life rather than try to live life. And something else, quit practicing anything. Your life is a game 24/7. That's a genuine audacity, magnificently expanding through life, because you got to have the moxie and the maverick to be yourself, or to be me. I like first person, but you got to have the moxie to be yourself. You got to have the tenacity to walk through the people minds out there where they're going to bombard you with their fears and they're scared and everything about life. Because when you dance the romance of your dreams, you're enterprising your self-esteem to feel that beams of brilliance from within you, to walk on your fields of prosperity, living on your beaches of peace that appeases your heart and soul. We have never been here to be the servants of the banking industry. And I know that sounds kind of cold, but the banking industries are the silent partners, are the silent controllers of life. They make the rules, they write the books. When we quit reading their books, quit writing and believe in what they say, and start trusting our abilities. So if you unpunctuate and unedit your life and allow life to be messy, you magnetize enterprising, sassy, savvy to expand out of the controlled world we've been taught. And the word no is one of the words that expands you out of the trenches of being in the world and opens a door for you to be of the universe. And that universe is inside me. And that's an ultra natural, innovative, visionary epiphany, realizing and seeing everyday life as my voyage into my dreamer's dare, living my flare of life. Because everybody is unique. They're not here to fit into society. They're here to be one of the wheelers and dealers of life. Because everybody has a talent that is unique to them, but it's a life expanding energy for everybody else. But we always have to hit the ridiculers, and the ridiculers are those that are afraid to get off the couch and play the victimitis crapitis on themselves and walk in the herdocracy of turdocracy that keeps them locked and blocked in yesterday. And if you look at today, and that's true, each is a strange bird. We're strange to everybody else, but we're honored and the gallant warrior of our own dreams. So as we open our eyes to the power of no, we're going to naturally optimize the nirvana omnificence, and which is the most powerful creation in the world. I call it the most powerful innovation, because we are innovators. If you feel the words right here right here, they're going to empower you. For me, if I feel them here, it's a word that isn't. And something else I've really expanded into, and I'll share this. When you write your dreams, write them with action, because we like action movies or even romance movies, whatever, but there's action in them. Write them with action. It's like I ride the typhoon of turmoil to surf my seas of success, because I'm blessed with the brilliance to see my oceans of opulence setting on my mountains of money. See, there's images in there that the subconscious mind latches onto and your unconscious feels. And it's a communication that opens up when you put an energy into it. And and write them to where it makes you uncomfortable. And pretty soon they expand, and take the punctuation out. I stopped punctuating my stuff 4 years ago. And I am a firm believer in personal growth and personal expansionism, and never punctuating it, and write it the way it comes out and then smooth it out, because it's going to come out the best. It's going to be expressed in the way to enterprise your wise, to waltz internally, seeing everyday life expand under your glorious gusto, because you got the gut gall to experience it all. And that is what life is about, is experience it all. And I want to thank everybody for being here. I am Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom. My website is mycowboywisdom.com. My books are at howdiditeachmyselffear.com, amazon.com/author/Robert A. Wilson. And I do write a keynote. It's on my Cowboy Wisdom page on Facebook and Instagram and all over. But I write to expand me, and I don't write with the word you, because I learned today, when I write with the word you, I think I'm writing to the world, but actually I'm expressing my fears to the world, but disallowing myself to admit they're my fears. So when I concede everything I write in you is a fear, I open up the door. And then when I write it in first person, I address it in me, I bless it, I confess it, and I express it to the world to expand other people. Whatever you're hiding from the world is hidden in you, to be a treasure to be treasure to the world. Thank you and good night. And I will see you Thursday night. And we're going to talk about how our world is filtered through our subconscious mind without us even knowing it's happened. Thank you and good night.